Hey, man.
Please give me her outfit. I don't have no clothes for her right now. I just bought those 2 outfits for her.
I'm gonna have to wash that shit. I don't know where it's
Give
at
me
right now.
here.
Hey, man.
Please give me her outfit. I don't have no clothes for her right now. I just bought those 2 outfits for her.
I'm gonna have to wash that shit. I don't know where it's
Give
at
me
right
here.
now.
I wash it with my hands.
Man, I just put some clothes in there, man.
They see she don't have nothing.
So she don't have nothing at the house?
I just bought her them outfits, man. I don't have no money right
That's
now.
one outfit. You don't have nothing at the house?
No, I just bought them 2 outfits.
2 outfits at the house?
Everything else is small on her.
So she got 2 outfits? You got your hair done, nails done, all that shit. She got 2 outfits?
My nails not done. This is my real nails.
That makes sense, man. Got fucking all kind of shit over here.
All right. Thank you for tuning in live with us. We want to give appreciation over there to Facebook. I see y'all, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and also Instagram. We're going to be speaking on the Disposable Child, as you've seen from the video just now. Also, make sure that you tune in tomorrow to the Unspoken Art Discussion Hour as we review all the contestants' videos that has been entered into the awards show. Now I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Dwight.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Grown Man Talking. It's a Friday. Good Friday. It's raining over here a little bit. It's kind of getting nasty. But hey, I'm inside the house, warm and safe, not getting wet. So hey. So let's get into it now. You know, the other guys, I'm not sure how many people are gonna show up. Could just be me by myself. Well, not by myself, completely spicy there. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off by talking about that video.
Now, Mr. Britney, Keisha just popped in.
Oh, Keisha, well, hey, let me welcome Keisha. Keisha, come on in. Woo, there she is. Oh,
hey.
Well, shut the door.
Hey, let's get it rolling.
Yes, that's what you're saying now. Let's get it rolling. Yeah, okay. Good. Now, Keisha, before I go to what I was going to say, were you able to see that video? The video that was shown?
I just keyed in, so the video happened before, but I kind of got a glimpse of a little bit of what's going on.
All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and give my 2 cents on it real quick. Oh, Mr. Britton there, I see his name down there. Let's see, we'll wait till he pop in. I'm gonna go ahead. Now that video we just saw a few minutes ago. First of all, it tells me they kind of young. The father's young and the mama's young, because that just ain't no way you handle your business when you come to the baby. But the part that really got me upset about that video is that the mama sat the child. Hey, Mr. Britton, how you doing?
Hey, I don't know what happened.
Oh, that's okay. You good?
What's going on?
We know the situation down there where you at, so you all good, my brother. You all good.
Yeah.
So like I'm saying,
how y'all feeling?
We feeling all right. I don't know if you caught the video, but I'm gonna talk a little bit about that video we just saw.
Yeah, I saw the video.
Oh, okay. Well, the video I saw, they look kind of young. You know, to me that's just disgusting for her to leave that baby on the side of the road like that. and just to take off. I mean, that just shows
Yeah.
that a lot of people don't even be having kids. And it goes on both sides of the fence for men and women. You just got to be careful who you land up with. You got to be careful who you having children with. Now, the young man in the video was telling her about the outfits, and I think the outfits was dirty, or she only had two. The girl was
Right.
upset and mad, and the young man was talking about her getting the nails done and the hair done, and the young lady got
Right.
mad and just left the child on the side of the road, which to me is just crazy. It's crazy.
Right.
So, Mr. Britton, what do you think of that video? What's your opinion on that video?
Well, actually, number one, and I'm glad to be here. I mean, God is something else, because I
Amen.
ran into a real live similar situation as we speak,
Right.
And so my thought, based on your question, is that I think it's horrific for any parent to
Mm-hmm.
discard any child. We know that they do it, but I still think that it's the worst thing that you can do. You know what I'm
Yes, it
saying?
is.
Is to do any mental abuse, any physical abuse,
Right.
any spiritual abuse, any abuse at all to a child. To discard them in that manner. Don't get them clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take care of them. You taking care of yourself better than you taking care of your child. That's a problem. That's a
Wow.
problem. You know what I'm
Yes, it
saying? When
is.
your child doesn't have a change of clothes or adequate food, and you do, there's a problem. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big proponent of child protective services, but I am a
Right.
big proponent of child protection, period.
Yes. I hear
So
you.
with that being said, I mean, it's like, come on, y'all. Let somebody in the family that love these babies get them and make sure that everything all right. Because we leaving our children in the hands of some diabolical people. They doing
Yes.
some scrupulous stuff. If you can think like that, just you give a puppy or a stray cat food,
Mm-hmm.
and you mean to tell me you can't feed or clothe your child? That's terrible. That's
Yes, it
terrible. I
is.
have no tolerance for that.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%, Mr. Britton. That is terrible and unacceptable. Now, Keisha, how you feel about that? These people that have children, they don't take care of them like they should. They even have the nerve to just drop the child off at the door or the road and take off and leave the child there. I seen people handle their pets just like Mr. Britton pets better than they do their kids sometimes. How do you feel about that?
Well, everybody that has the ability to have children should not. Because I'm even dealing with a situation where that bond was not
No,
created at the beginning. When we become pregnant with our children, we're
Mhm.
we're we're in love with this baby before it even gets here. We make that connection. And some mothers, somehow there is a disconnect from as soon as the baby is conceived, when we're supposed to be loving on this baby, growing with this baby and all of that,
Right.
they miss that mark.
Yeah.
So some people just, I feel, are incapable of loving. That's the only way I can think of it. They're incapable of loving their child. Um, and it could not even be their fault, because it could be something wrong up here that is not allowing them to make that maternal connection. Um, I think it's not good, but it's a lot of children that are born and mishandled, abused, neglected,
Right.
all those things. So I would just adopt them all if I could, but of course I can't do that. But I wish that it was more loving parents toward their children. Um,
Right.
that connection would be made. Now, if you have to give your baby up because of something traumatic happening, and you know that you cannot care for that baby, and you need to give it up in the right way, that is a totally different thing. But if
Right.
you're just mistreating your kid, abandoning your child, leaving it on the street and all of that, then that is something, and you need to be arrested, put in jail, or something needs to happen, because that's not how we are supposed to love our children.
Yes, yes, and I agree. And I can tell you one even better. I'm familiar with that, and like I said, a lot of people ask me, Dwight, some of the stories, some of the things you tell on the show, is that for real? You just talking? No, the things I talk about, oh, it's real. I've been through it, because in a situation, I was with a lady. back many, many moons ago. And you know, we got into a little argument. I decided to leave. I said, you know what? I'm leaving. Well, you can't go nowhere because I brought you here. I said, it's okay. I got my feet. I'm gonna walk home. So the woman, you know, was mad about it. I'm walking down the street, and all of a sudden I see a car coming my way like he was just going 50, 60 miles per hour. And almost hit me, and it was her. And this woman was so mad, she threw her own child out the car and took off and left me there with her child. That child wasn't even mine. The boy was standing there crying, and I'm just like, oh Lord, this woman's crazy. So I didn't know what to do.
To the
So
police
you know,
now.
first thing I did was call my mama and told her what happened. She said, well, hey, you know, let's send somebody out there to get you and the child. So they came and picked me up. We took the child home, and we got in contact with the grandma, and the grandma wanted us to send the child on a bus going out of San Antonio to where she's at. And my mom at the time said no, because to me, sending a child like that on the bus is just dangerous at night. So we kept the child there until she came back to her senses to come back and pick up her child. Now, I could have called the police and she could have been in some real serious trouble. But I knew she was upset and mad because, you know, I was just like, hey, I don't want to be with you or deal with you. I'm going home. And, you know, and she just went left. But I don't know what's going on with that. Why people would do that. No matter what you're going through, I don't care if you and your boyfriend had a fight, you and your wife had a fight. The child is the innocent child. The child ain't did nothing. And for somebody to do that, and Keisha, I agree. Police can be involved, or maybe these people needs to go get help. Because to me, that just don't make no sense. No matter what you're going through in your life, the child shouldn't have to pay for that. And one thing I want to say, a lot of these today is a lot of young people that are doing this. A lot of young people, to me, young people, and they shoot 19, 20. To me, they still child and kids themselves, trying to raise babies. And you see a lot of instances like this that they get into it, and the person that really pays is the child. So the child usually pay for what the mama said, the daddy, and like I say, go on both sides, because you have fathers, they do the same thing. They get mad because they're not with the mom. They don't want to do nothing for the baby, or they won't pick the child up, and the mama's probably working, and she's the one that's paying the bills, and he's supposed to help or watch the child, and so he's mad, and he don't want to deal with the child and bring the child over there. And half the time they just sit there, the child sit there in the dirty diaper. You don't feed the child, they're mad, and the child has to suffer for it. So this is something that we just have a big issue with. So I will ask Keisha, did you know anybody, a friend or family that went through the same similar thing with having the kid? They had to suffer because of their stupidity or the mental thing they're going through.
Well, not so much in my family, but I watch a lot of Facebook documentaries, and I was following this one for a while. It was a little girl that the two parents had separated. The mother got with another man, and they were both young. Well, all three of them were young, but the mother got with another man, and they took it out on the baby. Well, when I say baby, she was 3 or 4, and they did really bad things to this little child. The father, and sometimes fathers are not heard, he tried to get his child. He fought for his child. But because of the way our system is set up, it really wasn't working in his favor. So the dad, and eventually the baby did come to her demise because of things that were done to her. And the father, I think he eventually ended up suing that the state with that child protective service, because they failed the baby, and then they failed him. A lot of fathers don't get hurt, especially when they want their children, because they know that the child is being treated unfairly or poorly or not being taken care of. I've also seen on Facebook where mom is in there asleep and the little toddler is walking down the street, and the dad just happened to pull up and found his toddler, which was a little baby, still in diapers, a block or two from home. He was on his way to pick the baby up, and the baby is down the street. Mom is in there laying up sleep with, of course, someone else. And she said, I didn't know the baby got out, really nonchalantly. So
Yeah.
uh, people mistreat children, and it's not even always to get back at the other parent. Some mothers, I hate to say it, are just sorry. Some fathers are just sorry. But there are fathers and mothers that want to fight for their children. I saw someone in our that's on with us. He made a comment. He, as a father, went to court. I think his name is Jerome. Thank you for watching.
Right.
And he been out for 15 years. So he is a
Mm.
father that stood up and said, "Look, I want my child." So
Right.
I think it kind of comes from both. Some fathers are just MIA. They're missing. They don't even want the kid to start with. So then I think that brings up feelings in the mom. I got to do this by myself. And
Right.
they just get lost. It's a lot of mental health issues going on right now with just people in general.
Yes.
Right.
And a lot of those fall on are the children. There you got children taking care of the parents that are going through mental issues. They're little
Mhm.
bitty kids care of the parents and doing things that the parent should be doing for them, they're doing for the parent.
Right.
So right now we're just living in a world where, as a whole, I think we all need to look out for all the children,
Yeah.
even if it's not that village mentality anymore.
You're right. I agree. I agree with you 100%. Mr. Right now, Mr. Britton is having a situation. I
Trying to
see.
cite you.
I think the police are there, so we're gonna. Hey, Mr. Britton, is everything okay over there?
Yeah, actually, I was getting ready to cut in and tell you, police are here on the scene, and exactly
Okay.
what we're talking about this evening is actually happening right here before my eyes.
Okay.
Child left on the side of the road in
Oh
fear,
wow.
traumatized, ready to police just arrived after about an hour and a half. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't leave to go home to set up for the show. My battery's dying.
Right.
So I'm gonna have to tell the police what I know. So I guess I'll be
Okay.
signing off. But in pardon, can I say this, man? If y'all don't want them babies, damn, man. If y'all don't want these babies, man, stop that. Give them babies to somebody that want them.
Mm, right.
I see y'all, man.
Okay,
I'm
Mr.
out.
Britton, please be
Take
safe
care.
while you're out there, brother. Wow. That right there. See, that's that right there. That right there is sad. That's where Mr. Britton up there in Atlanta, Georgia, was waiting for the police because of the same situation of a child. This is what I'm saying, Keisha. You said it best. A lot of these people are angry. They got mental illness. I mean, I know we go through a lot of stuff, but a child shouldn't have to pay for what we're going through. It doesn't matter if it's finance, relationships. It's just sad that the child have to be the one that sees this, go through this. I'm glad that Mr. Britton stood there. If it was a problem there, Mr. Britton said he's not leaving. I'm glad he didn't leave because he was scared. If he left, something would happen. It took a while for the police to come, but they finally came there, thank God. And that way, Mr. Britton can talk to them, give his side of the story, and hopefully that child can get the help they need. Maybe the mama. I mean, I don't know the situation. The mom. I mean, she could be going through something. Hopefully, she can get the help that she needs because it's just sad. And I said it before to people. I said it's not like it's getting it better because you hear more stories about this every time. Like you said, Keisha, you see things on Facebook. I seen things on Facebook as well. I seen things on TikTok, and I'm just like, what's going on? I mean, what is going on today? You see so many children going through stuff, and usually it's children having children, in my opinion. You have young people having babies, and they barely grown themselves, and the kids have to suffer. I remember when I said it before on the show when I was quote unquote so called Mary. When I left the lady, and I remember my ex stepdaughter came to me one day when we finally, I met years after, and we hugged each other. And she gave me a hug, and she started crying. And I'm thinking she was just happy to see me, but she told me her story. Part of her story said, you was the only father we knew because uh, when you left because of what my mom was doing, the things that me and my brother went through. I mean, she told me that her mama just didn't pay no attention to her, had all kinds of men in the house, and some of these men even touch her, did things to her while the mama was in the next room. And she tried to cry out for her mama. The mama didn't hear because she was too busy doing things. And this is what I'm saying, y'all. It's just like Mr. Britton said, if y'all don't want these kids, give them to somebody that's going to be able to take care of these kids. The kids shouldn't have to suffer. These
And
kids,
Mr. D, hold that thought. Mr. D, hold that thought. I heard some music.
Oh, the music.
I think
Okay,
it's
well,
time
we're
for
gonna be. Hey, we'll be back. I'm sorry because I didn't even hear the music, but hey, we'll be back. Like Keisha said, in 2 and 2. Don't y'all go nowhere.
Last night I tasted strange fruit beneath my pillow as I endured the stench of death's breeze gazing through my windows. I could see the cotton fields and the whips that kept them going. I felt the pains of oppression and the joys of freedom's homecoming. Last night I talked to Malcolm and debated with Martin, and we all agreed that we need to be doing more than just marching. I spoke with Rosa as she refused to release her seat, sat beside her, and inherited the courage to speak. And in a gentle voice, she leaned over to me and said, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. So don't you sit down because you think this kind of hard. And then she said, run, black man, run. So I ran all the way to Greenville, Mississippi, because I remember my grandmother had a plan to bring blacks back from the pitfalls of racial injustice. So she introduced me to Harriet Tubman, who gave me my instructions and said, run, black man, run. So I ran all the way to Virginia without delay, where I met up with John Brown at Harper's Ferry on that glorious day and rallied the troops when we recited If We Must Die by Claude McKay. And just before they surrounded him with the lion's roar, he shouted, run, black man, run. So I ran across 7 seas and down the street to Gandhi's, where we prayed that the truth be spoken from the top of every roof, the bottom of every ocean, and the peak of every mountain. And just before he took his last breath, this prayer he prayed, run, black man, run. So I ran right past Goree Island and out of the filth society buried my dignity in, and I rose, a phoenix, flying on the flames from the depths of my self-inflicted pains. I woke up this morning and a voice said, stand, black man, stand for what it means to be the king of your land. Stand for those who have fallen victim to the prejudice of time, those who have lost their lives on the picket lines. For it is you that they fear, imitate, and despise. You are the blood, sweat, and tears that built this country. You are the farmer cultivating your children's destiny. You are the activist holding governments accountable for their actions. You are the lawyer convicting Lady Justice and her racial imbalance. See, last night I tasted strange fruit beneath my pillow, all because my ancestors kicked, clawed, and scraped at my windows, shouting, no justice, the revolution, no peace will not be televised, sparking in me a fire fueled by equity, education, and employment. So last night I fell asleep, third eyes wide, and traveled through time, searching for a better peace of mind. And this morning I woke up for the first time.
All right, all right. Once again, I want to thank everybody over there at both pages of Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow because the time has come. We will be doing a review of all the contestants that entered into the contest. So, hey, make sure you set your notifications. This is one you don't want to miss. And as you will see, we will be playing for the commercial breaks the poets of last year that we're going to go ahead and end it off before we bring the new ones in with their videos. So make sure you tune in tomorrow to see all contestants that's been entered and what the judges had to go by. Now over to Dwight.
Ooh, I just want to say this before we continue. Judges, I know y'all have a hard time, but I hear those, they got some people on there that the poetry is just deep. As y'all saw, Brother Dez there, he was the 2024 powerful poet, and dang, I feel for those judges because they got a lot of talented people in this contest, and I can't wait to see who they chose, who they picked for the most powerful poet. I'm excited. I'm telling you, the truth, I'm real excited about that. But now that we back from the commercial, like I was saying, my ex stepdaughter was abused. You know, while her mama was over there with other men, and the son also, he was abused and everything. They went through a lot of pain and suffering and everything. And the story that they tell, it just blew my mind. I'm thinking one day, if they have time, I'm gonna have them as a guest on the show so they can tell their story, what they've been through and everything. Even the father, the real father, wasn't nowhere around, and they had to do a lot of things, you know, by themselves and everything. And I want people to know when this stuff happens to kids, it kind of mentally mess with their mind. Y'all don't understand when you are out there and your mom or even your dad is not loving you like they should, and they just like they disown you, they don't care, they don't get you what you need. That does something to you mentally. It just mess with your mind, and that's how the cycle keep going on. Because then, if those kids don't get help, and when they have kids, they continue to do the same thing. It's like a repeating cycle, and I'm not sure how we're going to stop it. We can talk about it and everything, but I do believe if I was a parent and if I had children that I didn't like to love to take care of and didn't care about, just expose them, didn't care, then I would at least like to have at least some kind of dignity to give them from somebody that can raise and take care of them. Because people, we got to do better than this. This is just ridiculous. So, Kish, what else you want to say on this topic?
Um, I wish that it was a way that mothers, young mothers, because we do have a lot of young mothers that are still very young children themselves. I wish it was a system or some type of help that they could receive, because when you have a baby at a young age, you're kind of just thrown into it. I mean, of course, you're still a child yourself. The parents try to help, but then not always. So they're thrown into a cycle of trying to bring up a child and still go to school and still do the things that they need to do to take care of themselves, as well as raise a baby. Some of them have to even sometimes, stop school. So when the younger the mother is, the more chances that you're going to have of the child being, and not in all cases, but in some cases, you're going to have a higher risk of the child being abandoned, neglected, because they still feel like they want to enjoy their life. And, oh, my life was taken, and then they blame the baby. So the baby takes the trauma. If that baby just makes it, somehow, thank God, then grows up, then that child, which will become an adult, has those traumas. And we've talked about trauma before. So then you have a repeated cycle of the abuse and the neglect until someone is like, I'm going to break that cycle. But sometimes it takes a loss of lives before people even realize that it's some past generational traumas going on, whether it's sexual molestation, abandonment, abuse, just any of those things. And I've known some parents or some young people that have been in those situations. One of my coworkers, and he was abused as a child. And when he sat down and told me his story, he was very traumatized by his mom, which, as he told it, she was abused by her mother, and then that child was abused by her mother. So that was his great grandmother that started the abuse, which came from the loss of a child. So it's just, how deep does it go back? Now, some ladies will have a baby because, everybody, that may be a hot guy and everybody wants to have his baby. But when he turned his back on them, they'll use the baby as a pawn. And what I mean by that, if you don't want to be with me, then, I'll, do something to your baby. Or hurt your baby in hopes that it'll, shake you to do better.
Right.
You remember that story where the dad went and stole his daughter, which was a baby, and his girlfriend's phone, and
Oh
because she
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah. I remember that.
because she wouldn't give him the password to her phone, he hurt and unalived his 1 or 2 year old daughter
Wow, man,
because the mother wouldn't give up her password to him. And
that's just
he,
crazy.
showed them that he was harming the baby until he unalived her.
Wow.
So, some things are just hideous. They use
Yeah.
men and women, they use these babies as pawns. They use them as, do this for me, or I will do this to your child, or this is your kid, you take it, or
Mhm.
you say your friend left her kid with you, wasn't even your biological child, but they get so hurt and so emotionally distraught that the child is the only thing that they feel like they have that they can use or
Leverage.
uh,
Yeah.
pay the debt with. So the
Hmm.
child is the one that ends up getting harmed. So yeah.
And Keisha, you touch on base. Yeah, they do that a lot. And also, I just want to say, like, when they sometimes the grandparents had to pick up that slack, and it can go on both sides. Sometimes they get so the woman, the young woman, women have a child, and they just, the father, he's a deadbeat. He don't care about the kid. And just like you said, Keisha, a lot of people say, "Well, I'm young. This is my time to shine." But you should have thought about that before you had a child. You want to go out here and you want to party, you want to do things. But once you have a baby, then that baby comes first. Your part of the days gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to hit a hold button on that partying and going out with your friends because your first priority is taking care of your child. But sometimes it gets so bad that they would just leave the baby to the grandma, and which is sad because mostly grandmas, they raised their children. They didn't get no help from nobody. They did what they were supposed to do as a mother, and they raised their children. So during this time of life, they should be able to enjoy their life. They should be able to, grandma should be able to go places, relax, and do things because she did all her work by raising her own children. But sometimes these children pit their children on their grandparents, which is not right. And of course, the grandparents are gonna love their babies. They're not gonna sit there and watch their babies suffer, be hungry, have a dirty diaper because that parent is just not being responsible for their child. And y'all, I'm gonna tell you, that's just sad. It's sad. And I just want to say to a lot of young people out there, if you're listening, if you're gonna do all this sex things and this and that, wear a condom, get birth control, because if you're not mentally ready to take care of a child or what have you, or you putting that man first, like Keisha said, or they see a pretty boy, the pretty boy date them and get them pregnant, and then the pretty boy don't want to be with him no more, so he out there seeing 2 or 3 other women. So she used that child as, okay, if you don't do this, I'm gonna do this to the child. And most guys, they would say, okay, hey, I don't want nothing to happen to my child. I mean, I ain't I'm a dog, what have you, but that's still my child. But some guys don't care. They don't care. You do what you want to do with that child. I don't care. I'm gonna go out with this other lady. And what happens? The child get hurt or worse, killed. And I have seen videos of women and a few men that did that. They couldn't get back with their boyfriend or their girlfriend. They threatened the lover or husband or whoever or wife that they're gonna hurt the child, and then they do it. They'll kill them, hurt them, and it's just a horrible thing. And we have to do much better to try to find a way to fix this problem because this is like an everyday problem, and we just starting to see it more and more. And like I said, grandparents now they can't be grandparents. They just can't be because they have unresponsible uh, young people out here that don't want to take care of these kids. You know what I'm saying? And it put a lot of stress on you. It put a lot of stress on the grandparents, and most of all, it put a lot of stress on the children. Now, Spicy, since you listen, I want to ask you: have you ever came across a story of anybody that been to the same situation?
Well, being that I deal with abuse, I mean, and an advocate and everything. So yeah, I've seen many cases, even when I was in, before Santa Rosa changed it to what it is today, you know, I've seen many cases where the mother takes out on a child what the father makes them feel or
Mm,
what they take them through. And it's unfair. And, I agree with y'all. If you're not going to live up to the title of being a mother, because mother is more than just a word, you
mhm.
know, like I said, sometimes it's a job, it's a dedication, it's a sacrifice. So if you cannot complete that, because a lot of people have babies for the wrong reasons.
Oh yeah, they
And
do.
whether it's they think to keep the man or whether they just feel like, oh, everybody got a cute baby, oh, I want a cute baby. But when when it kick in the full responsibility, then they want to pawn it off on somebody else as
Mhm.
if that person is responsible for the child and they not. But this is a lot of the women's problems that you get mad at that father,
Yeah.
and you should leave things that's between you and him, between you and him. The way she threw that child out on that curb,
Oh yeah.
she should lose parental rights
Yeah.
until she can get help.
Yeah.
Because there was no way to do that baby and that baby to hear that baby cry, that broke my heart.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine too. Yeah. And like I said, Spice, that right there does a lot to that child. Now a lot of people say, "Oh, it's a baby. She ain't gonna remember that happening to her." You can remember a lot of things as a child, as a baby. I mean, I remember a lot of things when I was a child. When I was a baby, I burnt my finger, got bit by a dog. So you'd be surprised that they can remember this stuff like that, and that would remember them mentally. But like you said, Spicy, a lot of people do use children as a pawn, use them trying to get back at somebody, and these kids suffer the consequences behind that. And I just understand what we can do about it. So, Keisha, you have any maybe an idea or solution what we might can do to make things better so these kids don't have to suffer or go through this, or what can we do to, I don't know, cut some of it off or what have you, because
Um,
I see too many of it going on.
on the flip side of that, you can have a mother, young lady that comes from a. I hear some music.
Oh, we got some music. Well, y'all, we're gonna hold that thought.
I'll get back on that point after we come back from our 2 and 2.
All right, 2 and 2, y'all. We'll be back.
Hello everyone, my name is Elena and I'm going to be reading a poem that I wrote called Be Real. This is inspired by the tragedies that we go through as black women, men, girls, and boys. Thank you for this opportunity and I thank you guys for giving me a chance at this. Hope you enjoy. They say we are one, but are we for real? You keep stabbing and give me no time to heal. Little or not, it shouldn't be done. So I ask again, how are we one? Plus 2 seems to be 3, but does society really want equality? They don't. Little black boys and girls with pretty black curls have a fear that death is near. But what choice do they have and what choice do you give them? You don't. Because as they walk the streets, the world is getting stranger, people louder and animals wilder, and you do nothing. But you dare call yourself a protector, a leader, provider? In what way does being a leader mean bystander? It doesn't. Be real. You say black is beautiful, but is that true, or just a simple use to hide your ugly and deceitful pride? Like my people, Maya Angelou, she says, I rise. Be real. So cut the crap in the games, for we know that this is not a phase. Cause what was that one activist named? Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King. He died for our rights, but what did that do if police are still killing us out of the blue? Be real. Did you really care about us, or just made it seem like you did? Because this racial inequality is hurting you and your kid. Be real to yourself and to me. You didn't really care, we can all clearly see. And I won't say it again until that sink in real deep. Be real.
All right. Be real. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow as you'll see all the contestants that entered into the contest. It is our contest review video. So we will be going through each contestants and seeing what they brought to the stage. So, and also make sure you watch on May 3rd, because May 3rd, we will be announcing the chosen one. For in our book, all of them are winners.
All right. Before I get back to Keisha, I just want to say again, Mr. Brittany, you out there looking. I hope everything is going okay out there. And I just want to say, Mr. Brittany is a true gentleman, because that situation, a lot of men wouldn't have stand around. They would have left. They would have said, hey, ain't got nothing to do with me. That woman, that child ain't got nothing to do with me. That man might come back and do something. He stood there until the police got there to make sure that everything was okay. So Mr. Britton stood to make sure those ladies were safe, putting himself in risk and danger, sitting there waiting for the cops to come in. You just don't see that too often. He was there because he was concerned about that child, and also he was concerned about the mom. So I just want to applaud Mr. Britton that you're a good guy. Love you for that, and pray that everything is going okay, Mr. Britton. You get back with Spice and myself or us, and let us know that everything is okay. Back to Keisha. Before commercial break, you were saying?
So kind of even touching on what you just said, we lost the concept of the village raising, our young people. Because when I grew up, everybody on the block over, the other block was responsible for you.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have the chance to do anything wrong because, Miss Sally was going to see you, Uncle Michael was going to see you, somebody was going to see you and charge you for what you did. And you can guarantee that it was going to get back to your house. Right. Now you can't even correct anybody's child. You can't say anything to anybody's child. And when you do and take that child to its parent, oh, my child didn't do that. My little Johnny's good. He didn't do that. So all of that is gone now. So it's pretty much every man for himself, every child for himself, every mother for herself, because that community of helping and looking out for each other is gone.
Yeah.
I wish it was more that we could do some kind of facility where there's, early parenting classes, even in the schools. We used to have something like that where they actually started teaching the young parents how to handle stress, how to manage their money, how to write a check, how to do those things. But now once you have a child, if you don't have those skills, you're just kind of stuck. You're just kind of out there. And with a lot of our resources being taken from us for the young people, then that means we're going to be in even dire straits, because now they won't have those resources that they did have once upon a time. I had a friend, well, actually it was my ex's mother. She has raised 3 generations of children because the kids have kids and they keep bringing them to her. And then they have kids and they keep bringing them to her. And of course, she's not going to turn them away, but she's an older lady now and she wants to enjoy her life. But because the children are not being cautious of that or not even caring about that, they just take the kids and leave them.
Let me ask you this, Keisha. The lady that's raising these kids, Now, the people that bringing the young people that bringing the children to her, are they helping any, or they just leaving the
They do,
children on
they
her?
do help. They do help. They're trying to get on their feet. But that's what
Right,
I'm saying. They're trying to get on their feet, and that's the only one at the time that can help. So, but I do know some cases where, one girl, when I used to work at a location,
mhm.
that lady was very old. And every time she'd come in, she'd come with a new baby.
Wow.
Every 6 months she would be coming. I'm like, oh, whose baby? Oh, this grandchild had it, and then this grandchild had it. Now, mind you, she was already bringing like 3 or 4 in, and every 6 months, I'm like, ooh. She like they just keep bringing them and dropping them off. So as I'm a grandmother, and
Yeah.
I tell my daughter, I will help you and I will support you because I want that support line to be there.
Right.
I am not raising your children. I kind of got stuck with my grandson. I'm
Right.
not going to say stuck, but I kind of stepped in to
Right.
help my daughter until she could kind of get on her feet. But
Right.
it does take a toll on you because I still have 2 young kids, and then I had my youngest grandson, and it was a lot. But I
Yeah.
was his caretaker for a while, and
Yeah.
then she had another baby, and I'm like, look, this is where we got to cut it because
Yeah.
you having them, you already know what you need to do. So now I only step in when she's like, Mom, I need a break. Because when they're asking for a break, you pay attention.
Yeah.
It's just one
Yeah.
day, just a couple of hours, so that she can regulate her mind.
Yeah.
We're older, so we can kind of adjust a little bit more. But when she calls me and asks, Mom, can you help? I just need to sleep, or I just need to breathe.
Right.
I will take my granddaughter. She's a
Yeah.
handful. She's just 2, so she's a 2-year-old. But I don't mind taking her. My daughter does not abuse it. Um, I'll take her back in the morning, let her come hang out with Gma, and
Yeah.
everybody's fine. But see, a lot of young people don't have that.
They
They
sure
don't have that reset space, is what I like to call it,
do.
to where they can reset and get their thoughts. Because the world is a lot different from when we grew up. Things I would say are a lot harder.
Yeah, it is.
Managing things are a lot harder. Being in your healthy mental space is a lot harder. So to
Yeah.
do that with little bitty children, it has to be, I'm sure, very challenging. And then that's when you have these outbursts. I don't know what in the video, I don't know what her issue was,
Right.
but maybe if she would have had someone that could help reset her, give her that reset space.
Right.
The fathers aren't going to do it. Some of them, I ain't going to say all of them.
Right.
The aunties and uncles don't want to do it. Her home girls don't want to do it because they young too. So,
Yeah.
she's with her kids 30 days, 24 hours, 365 days. It's her. And she
Yeah.
doesn't get that time to take a break. So then eventually she breaks. And then who takes the pond of it are the kids.
Yeah. And I agree. And one thing you touch on, Keisha, you're right. It is gonna get harder. Resources is gonna be cut. It's gonna be hell. I'm gonna be straight up with y'all. And we're gonna see more cases like this. But the thing we can do, just like you said, Keisha, it does take a village to raise these children. And as you say that, and my heart goes out not only for the children, but for the elderly women or even few men that are stepping in to help. This is the time, they golden years, they should be able to relax, enjoy what days they have left on this earth, but they're taking that time to help a child. They can easily say no. They say, look, I can't do that. Hey, I'm tired. I'm old. When I had my child, I may not like the mama, but I stick it in there. I stay in there and help raise that child. But you don't see not too many of that going on now because they want to push the babies on somebody else or the grandparents. I think one thing we can do, 'cause I know, I talk to my children about responsibility, about when it comes to being with somebody, having babies and everything. And like I said before, and I want the young people to think about this. I understand you're young. Some of y'all to that age where you want to have sex, but you got to remember, you got to who you having the child with. Is that man responsible? Is that young lady gonna be responsible? Then you sit there like, dang, what I was thinking. I have a baby with this man. He don't care. He put all the responsibility on me, which is stress. And like you said, Keisha, these can be some good people, but when you have money issues, when you can't think of a way how you're gonna pay those bills, feed that child, buy clothes, you're not getting no help nowhere. That can be stressful for you to snap.
Yeah.
And this is why I say I get some of these people, some of the young people a pass because I mean they're only human, and yeah, you can snap, especially if you're not getting help. If you don't have a mama that can help you, you don't have a daddy, a auntie, a grandma, whoever, a friend, and you just and you got all this stress and all this responsibility on you. The baby's crying, the baby's hungry, and then you snap. Now,
Mm.
I get that, but I would rather see you drop the baby off at a hospital, a fire station, and then get yourself together. And say, hey, I had no way of taking care of my child. I couldn't get no resources, and this is the only thing I have to do. I would prefer somebody to do that besides just leaving the child on the road. And like I said, the video, the young, that's why I said it was very young, and the young man was going back and forth. Okay, she might have been wrong, but he kind of escalated going back and forth with her. I would just say, hey, you know what? Just give me my child. I'll find diapers. I'll do what I gotta do. Because I'm not gonna have my child in dirty clothes. I'm not gonna have my child in no dirty diaper. I'll sell, pawn, do whatever I gotta do to get my child what they need. So if she's snapping or she's not doing what she's supposed to do, then guess what? I'm gonna step up as a father and do what I gotta do and everything. You don't catch too many. You have a couple of young men out there that would do that. They prefer, hey, if it's too much for you, let me keep the baby. Let me hold on to the baby. And when I see that, I see some of these young men. I say, hey, look, okay, that's the girl you lay down with. If you didn't want all that crazy responsibility and this girl going off, you should have covered it up. But you have a child now. Now you gotta be responsible. That go for the same thing with women, the young ladies. Be careful who you having babies with. Just because he's a pretty boy don't mean nothing. Is that pretty boy gonna help take care of your child? Is that pretty boy gonna help put food on the table? Because raising a child is hard. And just like Keisha said, today now, it's even harder.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the food stamp's gonna get cut, resources gonna get cut. You got people out here right now don't know how they're gonna even pay their rent, and some of them are young women, and they just stressing out. The baby screaming in the background, they mad slamming things, and this is what we happened. And she decided to take the child maybe to the father, and then the father like, hey, I ain't got time. I'm with my boys, and then she get mad, but you don't take care of this child. Step the child down and burn off, and then he looking like, well, shoot, I ain't keeping this baby. Then he go drop the child off at the grandma house. Grandma Paul said they ain't feeling good on some medication, and now here she is not feeling good, and then she got to muster all her strength to take care of the baby. So it's crazy. But I'm gonna tell you this: it starts at home. I talk, like I said, I talk to my kids. So Keisha, what do you say to your kids? Did you say anything to them that maybe that way they won't find themselves in this situation?
I'm not sure because of the age right now. I have older kids, and I
Right.
do tell them, like I have a 22-year-old son, and I tell him, you see how hard it is to feed yourself? Do you
Mm-hmm.
see how hard it is to keep things that you need? So imagine having a baby that needs food and diapers and wipes and clothes and car
Yeah.
seats and appointments, and you can barely Uber to work.
Hmm.
So let this be your lesson. If you can't take care of yourself 100%, you do
Right.
not need to add another life that will be 100% dependent on you. And please don't have any because I'm not taking no babies. I
Woo, that
am
one right there. Yeah.
I
You
want
said,
to start making my passive income. I can't do all that with a little bit. And then I
yeah.
got to pick the baby up, drop the baby out. You got time restrictions. I ain't
Yeah.
trying to do. Now,
Hey,
granted, if I didn't have a choice, because that's what is almost like we really don't have a choice, because then I
right.
don't want CPS trying to take the baby or the
Right.
baby being mistreated by somebody. So here
Right.
go old grandma taking the baby, and then you think if I'm in the dating scene and I'm trying to, you know, get with a gentleman that's
Mhm.
looking to marry me, and he look over here and see this infant, he like, oh God, I don't
So
know if
what
I
I
want to
step into?
pawpaw status,
Yeah.
become an instant
Yeah.
pawpaw. So,
Right.
you have some men that'll become an instant pawpaw.
True.
But,
Yeah.
we want to be traveling when we get a certain age and going out to eat without needing a kid menu and, all of the things that you look forward to doing. And I explain to my kids, I raised you. Their parents didn't raise you. They may have got you for a little summer here, a week here, but I raised you. I did all the appointments and the schools and the plays and the this and the that, and tired and trying to work 80 jobs and be there and show up for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy. It's never been easy. We go back and ask our ancestors. It's never been easy. But you have to try to push forward so that because you're raising our future. These that are coming up, they're our future. They're our doctors and our lawyers and our architects and, our entrepreneurs and inventors. So if we don't nourish them and develop them right, we cutting ourselves off as well.
That's true.
Because how are they going to be able to be mentally stable and, learn what they need to learn and go to school and be set up for success and all those things. And they got to wear dirty clothes to school because mama didn't wash. Or they go to school hungry because mama didn't cook the night before because maybe it was no food. Or the lights are off. So they doing everything by candle. Those are things that some of our children are dealing with.
Yeah.
To go to school to get bullied because they may not have the best shoes. Or it's a lot of things that our young people are facing. But once again, I hear some good old stuff. So we will be back, guys, in 2 and 2.
Maybe 1.
As I sit with head bowed to land, through my fingers fall the silky sand. Eyes pause lifeless without a moment's blink. Put in mind it halts time to patiently think. What seed did I sow in my life's causing reap? Leaving heart's hour passing so deep. To be loved, cherished, and protected from all harm. Drawed closely, buried deep within his arms. On bending knee, gently placing tender kisses. These are the images.
All right. Trust me, you do not want to miss what we have to present tomorrow. So make sure you set your notifications to watch all the contestants that's been entered. I'm actually speaking to one of the judges now, and she said this is so hard. All of them are so good. She having a hard time. She's stuck. So, hey, when I say they good. I mean, I'm telling you straight up, who the winner is, I'm telling you, I do not know. I honestly don't know. They still going through the videos trying to decide. So I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this tomorrow to give us your opinion on the video and which one is your favorite. Now over to Dwight.
Yeah, because that person that tried to reach you, Spicy, they reach out to me and say, "Hey, I'm trying to get in contact with Spicy." I said, that's because she be doing the live show. So
Yes. Yeah, she's actually inboxed me and she said, "This is so hard."
yeah, well, hey,
She said,
I
"It's all
said,
so good."
yeah, look, I said, that the judges are gonna have a hard time because we have some very talented poets out there, and it is hard. And I feel bad for those judges, but I'm telling y'all, do what you got to do. Just I know it's hard. If you have to close your eyes, just pick one. But no, seriously, I know it's hard, y'all. They look when you got a lot of people that are talented like that, and you, it's just like you just sit there like it's like you hearing your favorite music, New Edition and
Yes.
Jodeci and all these people, and you just like, God dang, they all
Yes.
good. I don't know what I'm gonna do. If I can give them all trophies, I'll do it. But yeah, it's hard. So I feel bad for y'all judges. But hey, y'all just make the right decision. I know it's hard, but
Yeah, because we're gonna have to come together by video, and they're gonna have to tell me what they're gonna come. We're gonna be
yeah,
narrowing down. Last year was
yeah,
Lord have
because
mercy. But I'm
it's
telling
hot.
you, it's just like she was thanking me for bringing this to the
Mm-hmm.
and for other. But being a poet myself, we all have different levels and different spaces that we, you know, vent to, in the
Right,
poetic style. But I just feel like we wasn't getting recognized enough. We wasn't put out there enough.
right,
You hear about R&B, you hear about rap, you hear about, techno and rock, but you don't hear too much of people expressing what the true meaning and the good thing behind poetry is. It's actually
yeah,
a healing. It's something where, it helps you to get strength and growth and also wisdom. So,
sure.
make sure y'all show up tomorrow and listen to what we have and what the judges got to
Oh
deal
yeah.
with.
Yeah, I can't wait because like I mean, I write poetry myself. I had a book of where it's in. I'm gonna put it like this, y'all. It's in the closet somewhere. I got some books in there. I've been writing. I'm gonna dig them out. I haven't wrote for a minute, but it's still in me. I mean, if I sit down and start I'll start writing. So I mean, it's in my blood. So, but yeah, it's all of that. I call it the mind and soul of a poet. The journey. They take you on when a person tell you their words in their own words as a poet, they take you on the journey, and it's like it's an incredible ride. I mean, it is an incredible ride that they're taking you on. Now, Keisha, have you ever wrote any poetry once or twice? Anything in your
I
life?
have, but I actually like writing. Like, it started in college when I actually learned how to write because it's a skill to be able to write.
That's true.
So I learned to write long, short, creative stories.
Hmm.
Um, so it's not really poetry.
Right.
Um, I have some titles. I just be laying here and stuff pop up in my head. So
Hmm.
that's how writing come to you. It doesn't all come at once. You may get a little bit and then you write it down, and then the next time you get inspired by something else and you write a little bit more down. So I'm into writing books. I really like
Oh,
writing books. I have one titled "Falling in Love with Cream Coffee," and cream
oh,
coffee is not coffee; it's actually a man.
Wow,
So
I need that.
oh,
I need
damn.
that. I need to
yeah,
read that.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
I
where you gonna put it out so we can read it, Keisha? Huh? Where you gonna get it published so we can read this book?
No,
I
she
really
don't need
want to
no
read it later.
publisher. You self-publish it yourself.
Yeah,
To
girl.
save
Oh,
a whole.
yeah.
That's one thing I discovered is, I had to research behind it, and I talked to some people, is because all
journal.
the money that you paying them to do, you could do
Yeah.
yourself. And I'm gonna tell you straight up, like my first book was 1,500, and it's because I was her first author. And when it came down to the second one, and it was gonna cost me 2,500, I was like, wait a minute here, and I got to researching everything she did and what they do to get the book together. And trust me, the way I did it, I only paid for the graphic designer and the photographer, meaning that I was only out of $500
Mm, well,
compared
damn.
25 to $5,000 paying somebody for something you could do. The other
Right.
stuff, it could actually be all free for you. It all depends on what you know how to do. But like with me, I
Mm.
have my own book cover now, so I really don't need the graphic designer no more.
Well, shoot. Spicy, that's some good advice. And Keisha, yeah, you get a chance, girl, put that book out. We want to read
Oh,
that.
I'm gonna be pushing her now.
It's a
Uh-huh.
it's a short love story. So
Okay.
I like to tell and I like to tell the good as well as the
Bad.
bad. And I don't
Mhm.
incriminate nobody, but sometimes writing heals the soul.
Yeah.
It heals you because you're able to get it out, whether you do it in poetry, whether you do it in short stories or
Right.
drawings or however you get it out. And we as older people, we need to do that. Young people, whoever's listening,
That's true.
find you something that helps to relieve your mental, because we facing some times now that everybody's dealing with something. Either
Oh
you can't
yes.
pay, or this, that. I have my dad and I got to help him figure out how to pay the roof. It's a lot of things, especially when
Wow.
you have older parents and things, grandchildren, children, us, medical issues, things
Hmm.
like that. So find something that can help you relieve that, because that stuff attacks our body, our
Yes, it
heart,
does. Yeah.
our brain, our mental state. So I love to write, and I love to paint.
Okay. Yeah. But Spike, this is what I'm not to get off topic. This is what I'm saying. We got some talented people in this group because Keisha. Now I knew Keisha liked to paint because she does art, just like my brother in there. He like when Nora came over here and she because same thing with Nora. She writes and she paints.
Oh my
Keisha paints.
God.
You got all these people in this
I
good.
heard her. I never knew that about
Yeah.
her because like I said, I love her as a person, her character, the way she stand, But when I heard how she does poetry,
Hmm. Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
sweet, sweet. She actually, I love the way she puts it out there because she actually puts you in a place where you can actually feel yourself being where she's speaking of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's incredible. All these people in this group have
Like
all this talent.
they're gonna take you with them. You can feel the breeze, you can smell the flowers, you can feel
Man.
everything she's feeling just by words, and that's what words should do to you. It should
Yeah.
take you to a place where
That's
you
true.
actually where they are.
Hmm.
Mm,
And
yes.
and like I said, it was spicy. Just that piece we heard from her. You see how talented Spicy is. Spicy. See,
Thank
now
Yes.
you.
Spicy. Now I'm gonna tell you what gets Spicy in trouble. Now get off topic here. We about to wrap it up. Now, Mr. Brendan, you looking? I can see why. Cause see, you know how Spicy do her lips when she over there doing that poetry. See, that's
It
why Mr.
all.
Brendan is
It's
seeing.
with
Yeah,
yeah.
that's why Mr. Brendan over there. Oh, okay, now you better stop doing that now. Yeah,
But
see.
what people don't understand, because people get on me about that. I mean, Honey had
Uh,
mentioned it. There was other people that mentioned, but what people don't understand, you had to, my grandmother and my mother, they'll tell you, when I
mhm.
came out, I had my bottom lip in. So it's like after then it went to lick, but ever since I was a child,
Yeah.
I've always it's just a habit with me, just something I do. It's not
Mhm.
like some of these people get on the video and they just like do it intentionally to catch attention or to lure people in.
Yeah,
So
but we know little Mr. Britton in. Yeah, he can't stop talking about it.
yeah, he got on me about some videos and I came right back
Oh,
at him and shut him up.
hey, I'm just saying because the way Mr. Britton that time, I can't remember what show. It was a show that you did at home and you did your lip. He said, "God dang it, Spicy! See, that's what I'm talking about right there. We got to talk after the back of the break. We got to talk." I said, "Oh boy, Mr. Britton."
Mhm.
That only got you in trouble, but
Boy, talk
Yes.
about sweet dreams, boy. Mr. Britton having no sweet dreams, but
He'll
yeah,
be all
I
right.
must say,
He'll be all right.
yeah. But yeah, but Keisha, you heard me get that book, so yeah, we wanna see what you writing about. Yeah, yeah, we wanna see
Yeah,
that.
and I encourage anybody that
Yeah,
is into writing a book because I'm actually just got through speaking. Well, I've been speaking to her for about I'm gonna say almost a year now.
yeah.
I actually helped her do her book cover, which came out. She loved it,
Oh,
and the title of the book was so catchy. I said, "Girl, you got to go." So I've also helped guide her on the programs and where to go to form her
mm-hmm.
book and what to do. She's like, "So practically it'll be free because you did the book cover." I was like, yeah, but I don't do the book cover for everybody free.
Oh, and I'm
And
gonna say this. I'm gonna say that Keisha. I know you've been big. I'm gonna applaud Keisha for because Keisha, is this amazing woman. She true. She does a lot of stuff. Spice. I
mm.
mean, I asked her, dang, you like don't get no sleep because you always doing some stuff. I mean, she take care of the kids and just like she said, her
And you heard
grandkids.
me question you what I said, when did she sleep?
Hey, I'd be like, damn, and I applaud because a lot of people couldn't do that. I'd be sitting here like, damn, man, I feel for, but
I
even
fell
know if I
asleep
could
at
do
a
that.
stop sign, running right through the
Yeah,
stoplight. And
yeah.
it's like a
Oh
doze.
Lord.
I was working 6 days, 12 hours. Then I had to come home, take care of my kids, cook,
Wow.
clean.
See,
Then,
I find my mental rest in the things that I like to do. Like I took up playing the violin because
Yeah.
that was my mental rest. You know,
Mm,
you just got to get to, as long as I know my kids are in that front room, I close my
right.
door. I'm doing my me time right now. I took up
Yeah.
horseback riding, things that I know that can relax me. I love horses. First one threw
Mm.
me off, but I love horses. I I love taking up the violin because I used to play it in um, sixth grade. I tell the what I got to go do my violin lesson.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
that was not just a couple of months ago that I was doing the violin. I still had a violin in the closet. But it
Wow.
was
But
something
see,
because I believe in taking care of self. If you don't
yes.
take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of anybody else?
And
You
see,
will
Keisha,
not.
just like
exactly.
you said, and Spice, that's right. Take care of yourself. That's why we have a lot of people now, especially young people, even older people. You know, but I'm talking about young people. They get these kids, they stress out, and this is some of the things they do. You have to find something to get that stress. Or even if you, and like I said, we know sometimes it's hard. You know, especially when you ain't got nobody. But when you got all that mental on you and that stress, it's just like a ticking time bomb ready to blow. So you have to find a way to release that stress, to find something to put your mind at peace, even though you're going through so much right now with your child bills and the things that's going on, you're dealing with, but you still have to find somewhere. Even as like we did church, find God, pray. If you can't find nobody else, God's always there. Get on your knees and pray, and, and trust me, you put your faith in Him, He's not going to fail you. So we got to talk more about this backstage. I'm just going to have Spice and Keisha to give a little thought, myself as well. Maybe something out there for somebody that can help them that might be going through something and going through the same situation with a child and not getting the help before they blow up like a time bomb. So, Keisha, what thoughts you might have to say to the people out there that might be
Yes.
listening right now?
So, first of all, this is to men, women, grandparents, everybody. Children are a gift. Sometimes they don't feel like it, but children are a gift. There are so many people that cannot have them. So it is a blessing, first and foremost, to be able to give life, and for it to grow up and continue the life cycle. Get help. There's nothing wrong with you getting help. It doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean that you are a bad parent, a bad mom, a bad dad. Get the help that you need. That will save you. That will save your child. When it comes to men, children are not pawns. We didn't have them to be our tokens to get back at the man, or none of that. So love your children, because those are the people again that's going to take care of you when you get older. So show them love now, because if you don't show them love now, you will not receive it when you need it.
Amen. You're so right. Spice, you have any words you want to say to the young ladies that are going through the things right now, or even young men, even a grandparent that might be going through something? Oh, no. Oh, look at her. She finally did. Boy, I tell you. Hey, girl, are you in San Antonio? No? God dang.
She must be driving slow like I do.
Oh no, she don't drive slow, Spicy. Trust me, that girl
Yeah.
that girl got 85, 90 miles per hour, so she ain't driving slow. It's that weather, I think, that rain that got her. You still stuck in the rain?
No, it stopped.
Oh, okay. Long as you make it home safe, that's what we care about. Now, that's okay. You might have missed today's show, but you can be in tomorrow's show for sure.
Oh yeah, she'll be there.
Yes. So
Thank you
just
for
keep
popping in and
What?
gracing us with your presence. Thank you.
yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna
I
be
was
stuff
telling
to do.
But hey, I was telling Spicy, I said, boy, she got caught in that rain. I hope she all right, because it's nasty out there. I hope
Yeah,
she
in
making
for
it.
effort though. Did he tell you, Spicy? I brought my whole wardrobe.
Oh yeah, I sent it to her. She loved the
I
video.
love them.
She loved them. She said, "Oh
Perfect,
yes,
perfect.
this is perfect." So yeah, she loved the video. Because I'm telling you, the other video, like I was telling you, it was fine, but you ain't had no background, the lighting was bad. But we got you straight though. You straight. Now Spicy can use the videos, use the pictures, whatever. It's gonna be great. So I'm gonna say myself. Let's see. I was going to Spicy real quick. Oh yeah, Spicy. What words you have to say that might encourage the people out there? Tell them what's on your mind real quick.
Yeah, sorry, I was just talking to
I
one of
know.
the I'm taking the judges and going back and forth with them, but people don't understand it's a lot of work,
Yes, it
behind doing
is.
this. But what I have to say on this, my thing is my heart is towards kids. I love kids, but I don't like having them no more. I love
Yeah,
them, but I don't love having them no more.
that
So,
part. Yeah,
but my thing is these children are innocent. They didn't ask to be here. You chose to bring these children into the world. So if you make that choice, then you make that sacrifice in order to make sure that they are your priority. Only because the father is one way does not mean that that child should have to pay for what the father did. The child should have to pay for the mother did.
yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the reason why I didn't keep my kids from their dad because I knew that was a separate a relationship that was separate from me. But at the
Mhm.
same time, I didn't want my kids to get up and say, you know what, get upset with me and say, well, you kept me from my father. I didn't get to know him for myself.
Right.
I was not going to have that on me because, like I said, the way I feel about him, the things he done to me and how he scarred me, that's between me and him. That has nothing to do with my child. He might
Right.
not be a good man for a woman, but he could be a good father.
That's
Those
true.
are two separate things.
Yeah.
So, as my grandma used to say, think before you spread the legs wide open.
Woo! Grandma said, "Oh, grandma, oh, but the spread." And I just want to say the same thing. And I agree, Spicy. Young men, young women out there, if you're not mentally ready to have children and not ready to take that responsibility, because it is a big responsibility, then please use all the protection of any means necessary to keep from getting somebody pregnant. The baby shouldn't have to suffer for the things that y'all do. It's wrong to the child. Just think. I encourage the young people out there, and I just want to say, I want to give much love to all those grandparents that stepped up, they helped their daughters or sons because they got the children got too much for them. I just want to say y'all are blessing, y'all are an angel. But I just hope we can do better because it's not going to get better now because of things that we're going through, resources and stuff getting cut. So I'm just telling anybody out there, if it's too hard, pray. Find somebody, a church, anything. But treat your child right. Just love your child. Don't the babies wasn't asked to be here because they shouldn't have to suffer like this. Okay. So I just want to say I thank everybody for watching the show. I thank Noah for popping in. God bless you. You'll be here tomorrow. This has been a very good show. I thank Keisha for coming. I love Mr. Britton. Hope things okay with him. God bless Dez. Will be back with us soon. And please, y'all, we want to thank y'all. We want to thank y'all people out there for watching us, watching the show. We do things out here to touch people. Hopefully, it helps somebody. Anything we can say something might help anybody. And anytime that y'all might want to say something or give your opinion or call, looking for help, the number be on the screen. Just give us a call. We're here. So until then, just be safe. God bless you, and be sure you catch us here at the same time tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. For me me and the grown men talking and Spicy and Keisha and Nora, we wish y'all a blessed night. Nothing but love. And God bless. We out.